Hello everyone and welcome to the Excel training first module. In this module we will just get familiarized with Excel and understand how to navigate and make our first Excel file. Okay, so we will get familiarized with Excel. We'll try to understand a little bit more about something called as ribbon, and that's what is the first module. In next modules we will create and customize the charts with some data in it. And then in the third module, we will learn about the pivot tables and Excel formulas. And the last module, we will concentrate on macros and see how to write some VB scripts for the Excel automation. The number of hours mentioned in that is just the time that you can dedicate yourself and try a few examples from this video, so you can expect yourself to give this much time to learn Excel. Okay, so let's start with Excel and understand a little bit more about it. So Windows laptop, you have to select the Windows button on your keyboard, which will open the menu here, and you can open Excel file from here. Excel 2016 is what I'm using. But I think irrespective of which version of Excel you have, this training you can apply or use, sorry. Okay, so this is how your Excel file looks like. Excel file is called as a workbook, and that's the reason why you would always see the default name of an Excel file is book 1, and each Excel workbook has sheets. These are called as worksheets. You can always add sheets by clicking on the plus button, and then it will name those sheets as sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, and sheet 4, and so on. uh, on the top of the Excel file you have the tabs. Each tab, when you click on the tab, shows you various commands. So the area below the tab is called as ribbon, and in this ribbon you have the commands which are under that tab. As you can see, the commands are grouped depending on the commonality in their function. So for example, the font size, font type, uh, the formatting of the font, and the color of the font, so all grouped under a group called font. In each command group, you can see at the bottom here in the corner there is a small button. When you click on this button, it gives you a dialog box with a few more commands in it. So this particular button is called as dialog box launcher. uh, this dialog box is basically a old style dialog box. In the old version of the Microsoft Office applications, all commands used to be in the dialog box format, and for some reason Microsoft has kept that format or that option available from this dialog box launcher. In addition to the commands in the group and the dialog box launcher, there are also few commands which have additional commands, and you can use those commands by clicking on the small arrow button here. When you click on these arrows, you see the additional commands available. Okay, so I'll keep on referring to back to the presentation so that we don't miss anything. Okay, so we looked at the tabs, commands, groups, and dialog box launcher. Okay, in addition to that, if you want more space for editing and if you want to get rid of the ribbon, you can double click on any of the tab and the ribbon will be hidden. Now, if you want to use a command from any of the tab, you can just single click on the tab, use the option that you want, and when you come back to the work area, the ribbon will be hidden. If you want your ribbon to appear again permanently, you can double click on any of the tab, and now ribbon would stay where it is. Okay, we covered that. We covered this one also, the more commands when you need them. Uh, when you type a text in a cell, yeah, so each editable area in spreadsheet is called as a cell. These are called as the columns, and this is called as, these are the rows. So columns, rows, a cell. Okay, so we typed a text in a cell. To change the mode of the cell into edit mode, you can double click in a cell or select the cell and hit F2 function key, F2. It goes into the edit mode. If you select this text, a mini toolbar appears for the font formatting the text. So you can make it bold, red, change the font type if you want to, change the font size, and job done. So of course you can do the same thing from here by clicking on home button, or when you select the text you can get the small menu bar for formatting. Okay, it's called as the mini toolbar. Right, let's look at the menu item called as file. So when you click on the file, you have various options: opening, creating a new file, open existing file, save the file, print the file, or export the file into PDF. And you can also click on options, where you have various options to set how your Excel would behave or display information to you. We'll explore that a bit in a while and see few options and how they make a difference in your Excel file. Okay, let's look at the quick access toolbar. So the small icons here, this is called as quick access toolbar. This, of course, as name suggests, it gives quick access to the commands. You can always customize this. By default, when you, I'm just disabling few of the options which are added before. So by default, you always have three buttons. So this icon is for save, this one is for undo, and this is for redo. If you don't want any of these options, you can always unselect them, and now there is no option in your quick access toolbar. And if you want them, you can always reselect and you will have those options. If you want more options which are not listed here, you can always click on more commands. It says popular commands, but let's say I select uh, okay, let's select, for example, a developer tab, and in developer tab I have the record macro. I say add, okay, and then I get an option here with which I can record a macro, so I don't have to go through any of these buttons, like for example, otherwise I'll have to click on developer and then click on record macro. Instead of that, I can add it to the quick access toolbar and use it. In addition to that, I can also choose where I want to see this access toolbar. By default, it will always be shown above the ribbon, and if you select to show it below the ribbon, you can do that. or you can keep it to show it above the ribbon. Okay, so that's about the quick access toolbar. Shortcuts, you can always use keyboard for using any of these options, just in case if your mouse is not working. So how to do that? Whenever you want to use the keyboard shortcuts, select Alt button. When you press Alt button, you can see the shortcuts for each of the menu tab. For example, let's try to change the font of this text, and to do that you need these buttons, these commands here. Let's say your mouse is not working and you want to use the shortcuts. Use Alt H, and let's say you want to change the font size, so the shortcut key for font size is FS here. So just use the keyboard to type FS, and as you can see it has selected the field in which you have the font size. I'll change it to 12. Okay, again Alt H and FF, so it has selected this field now where I can pick the new font style. I can use the arrow keys down and up and select the font type that I want. Again Alt H, and I don't want it bold, so it's normal text now. Alt H, font color is FC, and I can use again the arrow key to select the font I want. So I want automatic, that is black font. So yeah, so yes, it's a bit tedious, but you can work without mouse in this way. So the good thing about this new Excel or new Office tools is that you don't have to remember those shortcuts. As you keep on typing Alt key, it will keep on prompting you which shortcuts are available for which commands. Okay. Uh, so as I explained, the area in which you work is called as workbook area, and then you have vertical scroll bars and scroll bar and horizontal scroll bar. The status bar, the bar at the bottom in workbook is called as status bar, because yes, it shows the status of your Excel file. Like for example, you are into this cell now, and this cell is in a ready mode. As soon as you double click in it or hit F2 key, it goes into edit mode, and it shows you here that this cell is into edit mode. Okay, and now it's again ready. Let's type some numbers. So when you select these cells here, it gives you various information like average, count, numerical count, minimum, maximum, sum. You can select or you can choose to show or not to show certain details. Like for example, you are not interested in average, count, numerical count, min and max. You're only interested in sum, and then your status bar will show you only sum. So this is how you can use this status bar to show or hide the information. These three buttons here, they you can use those buttons to change the way your page looks like. So by default it is always in the normal mode. If you select page layout mode, then it will split the Excel file into the normal A4 pages like this, and you can use this mode to even enter the header and footer to your page and type the data in the Excel file in this format. The third view is page break view. When you select that, it will show you the view with the page breaks. So these blue lines are page breaks, and as you can see, this worksheet is divided into 2 pages. Okay, let's try to explore the options, a few more options. As I told you, these are called as columns and these are called as rows, and these are the cells. So each cell is denoted by a name or a reference name. So this cell is A1, so column is A and row is 1. This one is B5 and this one is C1. If you want to go, let's say cell number G10, you can even type here G10, enter, and the control will automatically go to G10. This is one way of referring to the cell. There's also another way which is called as R1 C1 referencing, and this is one of my this is actually R1 C1 referencing is my favorite referencing because uh, once you get familiarized with it, you can use it very easily while writing the programs or the macros for Excel. So if you go to options, formulas, and select R1 C1 reference tile and click OK, then you can see that the rows as well as columns are now numbers, and the cell is referred as R1 C1, like row 1 C1. If I type R10 C15, so it has selected this cell, which is row number 10, column number 15. So this is how R1 C1 formatting works. So sometimes I have seen few people getting confused that um, sometimes they see numbers in column and sometimes they see ABC. So next time when you see this, you know what to do. Go to the options, formulas, and select which type of reference tile you want to use, and you're good to go. Okay, so like this, there are a few more options. As we go ahead in our training, I will keep on explaining those options whenever we use them. Okay, so I've created a small exercise to practice these things. So there are 16 things I want you to do. Open workbook exercise 1. So I'll show you how exercise 1 book. Okay, so it's a blank workbook. The exercise step number 2 asks you to type product name in cell A1. Product name. Okay, now you can see that the product name doesn't fit in this cell. So it has gone above, uh, over and above the length of the column, and it is spilling over into B1. There are various ways you can make this fit into the cell. We'll see one by one. So first way is called as wrap the text. To do that, you can click on Home tab, go into the alignment group and select the command called as wrap text. When you do that, you see that automatically Excel will wrap the text to fit in the column. Okay. All right. Now the next step, it asks us to locate the locate view toolbar and change to page layout view. So view toolbar is this, and we need to change to the page layout view. So it's page layout, and you can change to the page layout. You can also do that by using the toolbar, page layout, view, and the page layout, page break view, and normal view. So you can either use the menu or the tabs, or you can do it from the status bar. Okay, the next step is, try to see the zoom bar. So this is called a zoom bar. You have the plus and minus button here, and also a slider. By using this, you can zoom out and zoom in your Excel workbook or sheet. The next step is in B1, type quantity per unit. Okay. Uh, Again, same thing. So the text is not fitting in the cell. So as we did last time, you can wrap the text. There are a few more options. What you can do, you can do the auto fit from the home, sales group, format, sales size, and auto fit. Format, auto fit row height, auto fit column width, and it will adjust the column to fix the text. You can also, the easiest way is you can go to the column here and double click at the end of the column, and it will auto fit the text in the column, or auto size the column to fit the text in it. In the page layout view, these are called as white spaces. Yeah, you can see hide white space. When you double click here, it hides the white spaces. So it just gives you the more room to work with the data and hides the unnecessary area. Let's go back to the normal view and try to add a filter button to quick access toolbar. Okay, so we have, if we want to have a filter, then we'll have to go here. Instead of that, we will try to add filter button to the quick access toolbar, to more commands, and add or remove filters, and okay, and now you have filter in the quick access toolbar. Add more commands from arrow to the right side of the quick access toolbar. I'll leave it to you to practice. You can try that. Also, number 15 is show below the ribbon, show above the ribbon. You can play with it. Remove command from quick access toolbar. Try to remove the command that you have added, and I would even encourage you to try to use the commands that you added to quick access toolbar. So please practice this so that you get used to the Excel file and working around it. And see you again in the next video, where we would um, learn more about editing the Excel by inserting the columns, formatting and editing the data, editing the formulas, adding header and footer to the page, and adjusting the page layout so that when you print it, you get it on one page, or you get the page layout the way you want. So see you again